Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday morning mastermind call with Daily Refinement. Today, we're going to be discussing what is working on eBay and Poshmark. Don't hold back, guys. Give us all the secrets for what is working. So I'll start with myself. Changing all the photos has been awesome. My sales have been gangbusters since I started listing regularly, and all my listings look the same. So very excited. Also, I am now really taking some pride in my photographs, taking my time, learning. I'm going to attempt to make an improvement on the reseller ruler. I know that's pretty bold considering the inventor is my partner in the mentorship, Tech and Sports, but I'm going to try something that I think might be better. So I'm going to see, it's probably going to be slower because I'm sure he's thought of this, but I'm going to test making that over the next week and see if I can get down to his time, which is 30 seconds per photo. I'm also thinking about what items require the least staging. So I would like to sell dresses, but I don't want to take 5 minutes per dress. I would like my dresses to be photographed under 1 minute also. So I need to figure out how to do that. Also working on my thrift store route. Yesterday was the first day I worked on YouTube for half a day. I've never done that before. So I'm going to be working on YouTube half the day, hopefully for the rest of the year. And we'll see what kind of stuff happens. Today was the first day I tried to film what happens during the day. So it's going to be pretty intense. But I want to see what it looks like. I want to track myself. I'm a big fan of Rob Dyrdek, and he tracked his time for an entire year. And he was like, I wasted 9% of my year, but that's okay. I did pretty good 91% of the time. So I was thinking, okay, let's try and do that. Let's try to see what happens the entire year. And I'm more excited for what happens a year from now than I am about anything immediate. So what's working for me? All new photos, consistently listing. I want to make every single listing look the same. And I want to revise and optimize my thrift route so I can find the right items every single week. And I'm not going to limit myself to clothing and shoes for this experiment. I want to kind of, so let me give you guys the plan. I want to list 10 items all year, clothing and shoes, make 70,000 a year. But I want to optimize all the different categories because I feel like most of them are the same. So I just want to go through it and make sure that I can list any kind of item in any category in 1 or 2 minutes so that other people selling those categories in YouTube land can learn. So no one can have any excuses. We can do every category. Myself, I'm just going to focus on clothing and shoes, but the YouTube part of my day, I want to show you guys the different categories. I'm very excited. I want to visit resellers. Love to visit Jamie and James in the UK, see what they're up to, and just really go over the day in the life. And Jamie had shared his day in the life in the UK. I thought it was pretty inspirational. So I want everyone to do that. Share what happens during your day, what's working, what's not working. Can I call on you, Eric, this morning? I haven't talked to you. I'm curious, what does your day look like and what's working for you?
I've been doing can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember who suggested it, but I did get the app that's got the time tracker.
Yep.
It's called a tracker.
That was Max. Go ahead.
So I've been doing my situation. I'm really disorganized. So I'm my father died last year and he was a big buyer. So he bought a lot of stuff, went to a lot of auctions and left the family with all this stuff that needed to be reconditioned and whatever. And a lot of bicycles, golf clubs, stuff that didn't have a lot of value. So I've been sorting through a lot of that. I'm working out of my mom's house. So I have a basement where I do my shipping.
Okay.
But then I also have a computer where my printer is on the main floor. And then on the third floor is where I've been storing all this stuff. I also have a huge collection of radios. All kinds of just old vintage stuff, like there's a Sony flip clock.
Yeah, those are cool.
So just a lot of electronic stuff. So I've gotten to where my listing was really slow. When I very first time listing one object, it took me an hour.
Okay.
Now I do always make, when I do an electronic component, I always make a little 1-minute video to show it working,
Sure.
show the functions of it. But I've now gotten to the point where I can make the video in one take, and I'm not editing the video. You know, I can show what needs to work and stuff. So
Okay.
I also go to school full time, so I juggle school in there as well. So my days have just been consisting of trying to get organized and get myself. You know, I listen to a lot of your guys' stuff. I don't ask a lot of questions because a lot of the stuff I feel like the answers are already out there,
Mhm.
and I just need to continue to, you know, work and get better.
So I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that my acronym of how to deal with old inventory actually is the acronym OLD, which is first you optimize your listings if they're slow, then you liquidate, then you donate. So when you have a pile of somebody else's stuff, are you first sorting and stuff is immediately being donated? Are you testing everything? Are you just doing one small part of the pile at once, or how do you approach that?
It kind of depends. I mean, a lot of the stuff, like I said, is not, you can look at it and tell it's probably not a high value item.
Yeah.
We did do, my parents are also hoarders. I should throw that in there. And moved from a 6,000 square foot house to a 3,000 square foot house. And they lived in that 6,000 square foot house for 20 years and they filled it. And so it's just, anyway.
Yeah.
As far as sourcing, like what I finally started doing was I just started going through the items like I was buying them. And I
Okay.
just made a list, you know, here's all these Sony VCRs. And I just then made a list of each model number and went through and saw, okay, what's the, you know, I just used Terapeak. What are they selling for? You know, and just kind of almost treated it like I had just purchased them, sourcing them that way.
Okay.
And then a lot of stuff has been donated. And then I also have been going to estate sales and doing some sourcing because I'm not working, like I said, I'm going to school full time and then I'm doing this.
What is
So
your goal, your listing goal?
It's been 4 a day. So I've been doing
Okay.
4 a day. And like yesterday, well, my average is, and it takes me for listing an hour and 51 minutes is my average per day for 4 items. So I've
Okay.
gotten down from the hour, but I'm still taking me a really long time.
That's okay. And then let's see, your goal is 4 a day. When do you do your listings?
I've been trying to do them in the morning. It doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes I'll get one done and then something will come up and you know, but so the other day, yesterday I finished all my listings by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I started at 10, but just like I say, just going throughout the day. I had to run to FedEx and deliver a shipment and
And school's in the evening?
school's kind of whenever, I mean, summer term just started, so I'm doing most of my stuff online for summer, but I was going to classes during the day, just like a regular kid.
Okay. So this is really good. I'm glad that you're really self-aware because that's a really good indication that you'll be successful. So if you're doing 4 listings between 10 a.m. and 6, or I'm sorry, let's just say 10 to 4, you get your 4 listings or 6 listings done. That gives you an idea of what could be improved. So what do you think is the easiest thing to improve to make that be faster?
Well, organization for me is going to be huge. Your whole knowing where the scissors are, like this is my little, you know, my little setup in here, and it's just I just haven't got it. You know, I have an area here where I can list and photograph, and then I now have an area where I can do some reconditioning of stuff. But you can see it's just kind of, I've just barely got to where I have access to this room. This room was just completely full of stuff.
That's great. Okay, so you've got a space to work. Looks like dedicated areas are starting to form.
Mhm.
And what did you do to get all that space if it was completely full before?
Well, a lot of it was just like I said, we had a big garage sale, sold a lot of stuff, and then what didn't sell, we took a lot of stuff to Goodwill. And then we have
Sorry,
another
or sorry
load
for
of
putting
stuff.
you on the spot this morning.
No, you're fine.
When you do Goodwill, do you fill up the car or how do you approach it?
Uh, yeah, my mom's got an old Dodge 15 passenger van. So I fill that thing up. And then my mom also actually works for Goodwill. She works with like their clients. She does job coaching and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she works internally in the whatever. But anyway, so she sometimes will load up her Jeep. We'll put a few boxes in with her and she'll just take them to work.
Okay. That is epic. So thank you for sharing all of that. That room used to be full. Now you actually have a workspace. You have a little testing area, prep area, photography area, list area. And I think that it looks pretty organized. So, but I'm sure you've been working hard to make it look like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Four with school, and are you okay with that listing goal? Do you want to increase it, or do you have what's your profit goal per item?
Well, right now I'm averaging about $110 an item.
Okay.
But like I say, I have a lot of that comes from I have an old friend, retired guy that used to repair tube radios. And he had a huge collection of not just tube radios, but solid state radios and stuff like that. And anyway, I've done a bunch of work for him at his house, and he just was cleaning out and gave me a whole bunch of stuff. It's all mostly stuff that works, but a lot of it just needs to be cleaned up.
Yep.
So I've been doing a lot of that. And then, like I said, do some sourcing as well. I've basically been focusing on kind of vintage electronics, not just the tube stuff. Unfortunately, the tube stuff, the people that are into buying that, they're all dying, and nobody wants to listen to AM radio anymore. So
question, Eric, you have all this stuff. How do you split your time between new vintage electronics that you're finding and the old stuff that's everywhere?
How do I split my time as far as what, sourcing it?
I mean, like listing it. Do you go like 10 old things in the pile and then 2 new things you just picked up, or how do you organize your time?
The way I had been doing it before was I just kind of wandered around the house and found things that looked like they would take a little amount of work to get listed. But lately what I've done is I just have made a huge list of items that are things that I think could be listable. Like I haven't researched on eBay yet to see, but I just have, I've just gone through and have just a list of all these items where I have the items on there now, and now I can go in and fill. And like yesterday, I had this. This is it's not very big that way, but it's like a pizza box. But it's a Shopsmith. It's a whole clamping system.
Yeah.
I bought this sell for $15. I just sold it for $53. So that sold over the night. I just listed it yesterday.
I love it. Okay, so I think it's essentially right now what it looks like to me is that your house is kind of a thrift store.
Yeah.
Right. So you get to walk around and look for what is easiest to list, what makes the most profit, right? And then some of the stuff that you don't want to list, you just leave there, except for that's your own house and you got to eventually get rid of it. It's not the thrift store, but I think that approach is smart. You're looking for things that require the least work to ship, least work to list, highest profit value. And then the only other thing would be like, or that I'm thinking is, if you come across an item that may not meet your threshold, maybe that goes into a pile to fill up the passenger van. And then is that what you're doing? So you don't have to look at it again, or how do you?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, it just kind of depends. I don't always like to just leave the van loaded up with stuff. You know what I mean? I do sometimes use it to go pick up stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like a pile in the corner that's about to leave.
Yeah. I do it. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing all that. That's like I'm sure a lot of people are going through piles of stuff from other people that they're dealing with, which is kind of like a thrift store. And their approach to how many they're listing per day. And for some people, they do like the hardest items to list first in the day. Some people wait till they're done with their regular listing goal. Maybe you guys in the chat can let me know. I recommend you do your normal listings first in the category you pick, and then work on projects after. Otherwise, your whole day is projects, and that's not it's hard to build consistency with all projects.
Yeah. I definitely see the value in the, I certainly wasn't excited about like the clothing aspect when I started, but, you know, I had a radio that got broken, a little piece of it got broken in shipping. And I tried to do a really good job, you know, in packaging them up. And just the, you know, you guys joke around about the, you know, the sombrero and you know, what is tech about the like,
I think Eric's breaking up. Or is he breaking up for you guys?
Yes. Yeah, I had a question for him, Chris.
Go ahead.
That stuff doesn't probably won't sell.
Go ahead, Jen.
My question for him is, what's your level of satisfaction with your progress? Because one of the things I'm really liking when I'm listening to you talk is you seem to be just pretty cool about it. You're moving along at a slow and steady Eddie pace. And even though there's so much stuff, you're okay with it. And that's something I have not been able to, it's not a status I'm able to attain right now.
I mean, a lot of people here have jammed 6,000 square feet of stuff into their house, right? And then they got to figure out how to sell it. So Eric is very calm and collected because a lot of people would be panicking. So I guess Jen's question to you, Eric, is what is your level of satisfaction so far? You're on mute. You're on mute,
Yeah. What's my level of satisfaction with my eBay business?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely been a lot of work, but I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's, you know, I do like it. I like it. I mean, I like the grind. I get frustrated with myself. And I definitely am like, you know, just repeating a lot of steps that I don't need to repeat, just kind of in my day. I'm just not very efficient, and that gets frustrating, but I am getting more efficient. So I'm enjoying it.
Thank you for sharing, Eric. We'll move on to the next person, but I really like the idea of your space becoming more and more and more clear, and you're selling less and less and less categories, and you're getting the capital out of all the items that are sitting there. So you're getting some money from that. So it's like the snowball will start rolling faster and faster with that type of process. Just Eric needs to be careful to make sure that the intake is slower than the outtake. Because it would be easy for you with the level of knowledge you have of random things to have your amount of things stay the same and not go down. So I love it. Thank you for sharing so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Laura, can we chat with you?
Hi.
Hi, what's up? What's working?
Oh, I just started timing myself on doing processes. And that's been quite eye-opening. But my biggest struggle is for some reason I just cannot stick to my schedule. Like I just get distracted and I think, okay, well, I'll just do this real quick and then it takes me longer. So I'm just trying to really time myself and stick to my schedule for the most part.
So what kind of things are eye-opening?
How long it's taking me, how much time I'm wasting. Like when I'm taking my photos, I timed myself yesterday and it averaged to like 3.5 minutes per photo, which is insane.
Yeah.
So that's
what do
big.
you think is taking a long time?
I think my lighting is an issue. I need to get buy lights. So I'm constantly like moving my curtains over because I try to do natural light. So I really feel like that's a big issue. And I'm using something that's about knee high to lay my clothing on. And so sometimes I'll have to walk up a little step stool to get high enough to take the picture. And that's just all taking too long. So I need to redo my setup.
I would say that 90% of photos is the setup. So I'm glad that you're sharing that because the lighting placement was the biggest thing I learned from Tech's video. Because if you guys watch the video, he doesn't actually take photos in the original photo. He just talks about his setup. And to me, that was so useful figuring out where the lights go. And because I don't know if you guys remember, but a long time ago, tech used to use daylight.
Mm.
He had lights and daylight. This is a long time ago. And even though like it can be difficult to work with multiple light sources, as long as you have a way of doing it and then you just don't move it, then it works. But yeah, I can see that Photoshop taking a long time. So I look at it as in like it probably takes about a half day or a whole day of work to make the photos match, and then you never change it again.
That's what I need to do. I have a shop now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it inside I'm taking my photos inside my house because it's got tons of windows and natural light. And I want to get all my stuff out of my house and just leave it in my shop and have it
Yep.
set up and not have to redo it. That's another thing adding to my time is I have to set up everything every day. And
Yeah.
so I just need to commit to buying the lights because there's no natural light really in my shop.
Okay.
So I just need to commit to do it and do it.
And then how big is your shop?
Um, I don't know. It's probably the size of one of those small little shed things. I mean, it's actually it's great. Like the size of it's great. I have plenty of space to put my stuff, like put a lighting setup.
Do you want your entire business to be in it?
Yes.
Okay. See, I love that because I am right now, I'm really enjoying, like, I don't want it to be bigger than this. So I think if you guys have an idea of how big you want your business to be and you can fit it all in the one room, there's a lot more mental real estate you get back from nothing being in your house. And then you can actually leave work if you have stuff like that, which is nice.
For sure. Yep. I just do it. I don't know why. I'm not just doing it.
So I'm giving you till the end of July to get that all situated. So
Perfect.
that's a good, I give you a month to really think about your space. Everybody here, sorry, I'm giving you guys the bad news too. You have 1 month to figure out your setup and then don't change it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. Jamie, how is it? How goes it? Nice to see you. I'm glad people turned their video on today.
Hi, Chris. Right, mate.
What's working?
I changed my strategy of buying. So I lowered from doing 50 listings, 20 drafts a day to 30 listings, 20 drafts a day, but focusing on more higher profit items. And that's been working really well. So yeah, the average sale price has gone up. And although I'm shipping less per day, I find that I'm done. Like I finished everything today by 1:30. So I'm doing tomorrow's listings now, so I can go out and source more.
That's amazing. So how far ahead do you want to be?
I know because I've got I don't work weekends technically because I do my drafts for the weekend. I schedule them Saturdays and Sundays, but I ideally want to get. I think I worked it out. I can get 4 days in front a month, so it'll just keep going. But I'm not going on holiday anytime soon or anything.
4 days a month, or 4 days a week, or 4 days a month?
4 days a month, the draft banks will covered. Yeah.
Perfect. So that's yeah, always if you get less items and the same productivity or better, then because in my new system, it's 7 hours of listing and photographs and 33 hours of sourcing. Because when you have really good items, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you have really good items, you almost get one offer a day on the item.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's very, I found as well, I was like, why am I wasting my time doing, because I'd have an item and James really helped me open up. I looked into what I really make after listening to one of the podcasts, after what you really make after everything. And it was like 82 pence. And I was like, what am I doing for 82 pence? My time is worth more than that. So now I'm literally like doing the 8 into 35, 40 model. I'm buying loads on Vinted like every day and eBay, and I'm getting stuff delivered. Where I take my parcels, I get my online snipes delivered to as well. So they don't get delivered to me at my shop. Very convenient. But yeah, I thought my time's worth more. So I think I find it easier to list better stock because I'm like, oh, this is actually going to bring me a good profit.
I couldn't agree with you more. I enjoy spending the time researching if it's actually going to sell for more money, but there's only so many, like, how excited can you be about a 15-pound sale? Not really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be very exciting. So what are you doing with stock that doesn't meet the criteria?
Not buying it. So
You're not buying it.
yeah,
Perfect.
because
Okay.
with I've got 3 rag houses I go to, and I raised my price. I used to do like $4.95 plus postage, and buy cost was £2 max. But now I'm buying items. I'm being very picky. Like if it's got a flaw, don't buy it. It's just too much hassle. So the lowest price on my store is $9.95 plus postage. That's the lowest I'll do, just to keep the relationship alive with the rag, so I can get the good stuff as well. That's the lowest.
So I have a video coming out today that talks about category 1, 2, 3, 4. Category 1 is high profit, sells fast. Category 2 is low profit, sells fast. Category 3 is high profit, sells slow. Category 4 is sells slow and low profit. So everyone here, I have good news. You don't have to buy category 4 anymore. You don't have to buy any items that are low profit, take a long time to sell. But I'm finding that I'm pretty excited about items that sell fast for low profit too. It's just a grind. Like it's a lot of listing. You list items that sell for low profit, but they sell quickly. I'm kind of okay with that. I almost prefer that to category number 3, which is good profit, but takes forever to sell, just because the space is interesting to me. So I think everyone here has store 1, 2, and 3 inside your store. Hopefully, does everybody know that? Like you have items in your store that are going to sell fast for good profit. You have items that are going to sell for good profit, but take a little bit. You don't leave those behind. And then there are some items that are a grind. At least if you know, I pick up this item, it's going to sell for 15 pounds. I'm only going to make $1. Maybe not that low, but maybe you make five pounds on a 15-pound sale. But I'm just going to add this on top of my listing goal of 10. I'm going to do 11 today and throw this one in. Then I think it's okay. As long as you upfront know it's going to be a grind, then you'll teach yourself to buy the better items over time. Blaine is saying that auctions and graded cards has been working well for him. He's going to ramp up the auctions. I think cards have always had a really good sell-through rate. So I think, like if you look at the top card sellers in the world, almost all of them have auctions that end every day, the big guys. So it makes sense if you mix it up like that. Have the fixed price for the good stuff, and then bread and butter stuff, maybe you go auctions. Or maybe the bread and butter stuff you do fixed price, and then the good stuff you do auctions, and brings people to the yard and they buy your regular stuff, buy it now. So it's like all of that. Isaiah, can I pick on you? What's working for you? I don't know if Isaiah can chat. How about Ben?
Hey, what's going on?
Morning.
I think there's a couple different things. I've had a, pretty good June so far, which is kind of surprising because last year my June wasn't that great, but when I compare it, I wasn't as consistent last June as I am now. So I think a few things is consistent. I've been consistent with listing every day for the past year since I've been full time. So that's counteracted part of the summer slowdown. I have a more aggressive coupon during the summer, running a 25% coupon. And then I'm also counteracting that with a more aggressive offer to washers. And I think that's allowing me to kind of beat some of the summer slowdown in sales. And then I've been even more selective with what I'm purchasing, with my shoes. So my average sales price went from 57 to now 61 for this month. So I think mostly, I think it's just being even more selective with the shoes I pick up, and really focusing on that average STR sell through rate.
So Ben, that's an interesting comment that you made, that you're more consistent this year than last year. So at the gym this month, there's been like a third as many people as normal. And I asked my trainer, like, where is everybody? He's like, for people take the summer off. They don't work out. So what if they
Yeah.
don't work out and they don't work? You know what I mean? Maybe people naturally don't work during the summer.
That's funny because the gym I go to here by my house, I usually go to it's like a semi-personal gym. So I would go to like an 8 o'clock class to work out. And as soon as right about the summer started, the 8 o'clock class, I would be I'd be the only one in there. During the cooler months, the first quarter of the year, that class was pretty packed. And as it started to warm up here in Arizona, I was literally the only one showing up in that class during the summertime. So I guess there maybe is some correlation. People started here in Arizona, it's hot. So people started going to the earlier classes like 5, 6, and 7. So I'd be the only one in the 8 o'clock class for weeks at a time. So there probably is some correlation to that.
I saw that meme that said, what if there's no summer slowdown? There's just seller slowdown. And because like, if you're not getting good sales, maybe you're less motivated to list. So then you're even more inconsistent. You throw a couple of vacations in there, kids are out of school. You're working maybe a third as hard as you are during the colder months.
I can see that. That's probably a combination of both, of everybody slowing down, the sellers and the buyers, but I think you can counteract that by being more specific and more intentional with what you're purchasing. So that way you're really targeting in on items that are going to move quickly, so that may require you to, spend more time in the field and more research.
Are you selling your shoes on Poshmark and eBay?
No, I used to do cross listing on Poshmark. It was just too much effort. I got tired of doing that and trying to remove items. So I'm 99% eBay. Every once in a while, I'll do a StockX or Goat if I have something that's kind of new in box. Poshmark, I might have sold 1 or 2 shoes on there because they were kind of designer shoes, and I figured they might do better on a Poshmark, but it's 99% eBay.
The reason I ask is I feel like I'm catching people sleeping on Poshmark, because right now I'm manually sharing my closet about 10 times per day. And sometimes I'll share my closet and get like 2 sales immediately after. And I feel like people are not like, I'm the only one working at that time for some reason. So like there's people who are on the site, it's all my listings for like half an hour because no one's working. And I feel like on eBay, have you guys ever done that? Listed like 10 items and 2 sold? And I'm just wondering if like it's like for some reason in the eBay universe, you were the only one working for 10 minutes and everyone noticed and you got a bunch of sales. So
yeah, I think I've had something similar to that where you posted and immediately sells, a few hours later. Where, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of weird, but yeah, I've had something similar to that happen also.
So we get a question a lot, which is what is the best time of day to list, right? And if you are an inconsistent person, then any time is better than not. But there is an optimal time, and we talk about it inside the group. And if you think about why that time is optimal, it will make sense to you. And I think that it will adjust the way people strategize their day if they think about why certain times of the day are more effective than others. And yeah, okay. Blaine says ASP increases is always better. That's true. Candy is asking if I use Flip. I do use Flip, but Flip only allows me to share 10 times a day. So I only have 60 items in my closet. So I'm trying to bulk that up, and I'm nowhere near the share limit. So Yeah, I use Flip to send offers to watchers. And who was it earlier that mentioned? Oh, I think it's Ben. The more aggressive offer to watchers. It kind of combats the summer slowdown. I think that's a great way to approach it. Like right now, there's not that many people shopping, so maybe be more aggressive. Sally?
Could you expand either now or later when we're private on, I'm a little confused about optimal times for listing. I think of eBay as a catalog, and what does it matter if I list at 12:01 a.m. or 10:01 a.m. if all day long people who are interested maybe in my item are coming and going? I'm not understanding optimal timing for listing.
And well, we can't share that live on YouTube. That's the secret sauce. But
Okay.
that is the thinking about why it matters.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. I really have some questions about it, so we'll cover it later.
Yeah.
I'll put on my secret decoder ring when we get ready to
Secret
talk.
decoder ring is good, but it's more about why it matters than what time. Because I think now that I'm really wondering, why does tech do it this way? Why does he use upside down bins? Because that's on purpose, guys. Upside down bins is a solution that's really good, but you might just think it's what he had around the house. Good morning. Want to say hi? Say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Natalie.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Let's see. Laura is asking if I have to start flip over every day. I do. Let's see. Let's go with David. David, good morning. What's working for you? Hopefully he can chat. You're on mute.
Oh yeah, and specifically
What's working for you in your eBay business?
I mean, everything you guys say. I was on the call yesterday with Tech, and I also realized I will never find that much stuff. So I have to focus on doing what I can do and like not kind of comparing to somebody else either. So, or at least I won't be able to find the same stuff that he finds. So,
well, I mean, not yet or never.
Not yet, and probably not where I live.
Because I look at it like because when people are like when Isaiah challenged Tech and fell asleep the first day because it was too hard. I was thinking to myself, I kind of know what it takes to do 250 a day. I kind of know, but it's also like if you're doing that kind of volume, if anything is out of place, can you imagine 2 days you don't put things back and you're doing 250 a day, or your sourcing gets messed up and people are there waiting to list and the items are not ready, or anything is a hiccup, it wouldn't work. And so when I look at how organized it must be in order to do that, I don't think never. I think that's just like, it could be 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road to get to the point where, but I mean, we're talking about making $1 million a year. That's a lot. That's like running a 2-hour marathon. You could probably do that, but not right away. It's just just think about 250 items and then just putting it back. Not even like any of the other parts of it. It to me seems insane because putting away 30 or 50 items is already a lot. So anyway, what kind of things specifically are working for you? Everything in the group has been tried and tested, but like one thing.
I'm getting a call. Just putting honestly, I switched to your method of storage about a month and a half ago, and I switched 7,000 listings, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah,
because the put away.
Yeah.
So I'm listing shoes and clothes
Yeah.
into the same boxes. So when I
Yep.
put everything away,
Yeah.
you just put the next box away instead of having to find a bin that's half empty. So
Yeah.
definitely worth it to switch just for that.
Yeah.
The
I
put
know.
away is a lot quicker.
When I switched to the chronological system and I started to walk straight to the item, I was like, I'm redoing the whole thing. I'm not gonna look through the bin anymore. It sucks so much. It's always on the bottom or missing or behind. So I'm
Yeah.
not doing that anymore. So it was like not even it didn't even stress me out switching over 7,000 items. I did it at the same time. It was fine because it was like walking straight to the item is so satisfying. I'm glad that you made the switch. That's awesome.
Yeah, having something missing with the bins is terrible.
It's the worst thing ever. You do all that work to sell the item and you can't even find it. It's the worst thing ever. Beth, what's working?
I'm working on switching to a gray background. Like I am a slow adopter, Chris, but I'm working on it.
But why gray and not off-white like tech?
Thought you told me I was supposed to do gray, man.
No, you need, but why? Why would you do that?
Why would I do gray? Because you guys told me it worked really well and I
Oh,
trusted
my
you. I
goodness,
didn't
Beth.
decide to like think it through. It's
You
just
have to
somebody
think it. You have to think it through. That's the whole point of what we're doing here.
All right. Off-white works better than gray? Let's talk about that.
No, but I'm asking you, everyone here, before you make a change, you have to figure out why.
Because people say that gray is including Mark, the photo dude, right? That it is the one that helps you to get the most true color on your photos.
Okay, well, that would be a perfectly good reason to change. I'm just
right.
looking
And
for a reason.
I still struggle with not having to edit my photos, which that's another issue. I mean, the color could be one though. It's multiple reasons, the square and the whole thing. The item is too big and my setup is too small and it's not on the, whatever. But I am finding that I am not having to adjust for color, that the color is coming through true. So yes, I am taking baby steps one at a time.
But I'm glad that you are doing it so that you can have more correct color, because that is fine, because that the gray card from the gray specific, like why not green? You know what I mean? So it's just that because I'm telling you for sure, if I were to go to Home Depot right now and get artificial turf as my background, people would switch. Oh, the green looks so much better because Chris is doing it. But I'm telling you, I got to think about why.
There's a guy who does that out there, a guy who sells golf stuff.
It looks great.
It looks great because he's selling golf stuff, man. It's perfect for a golf seller.
But I'm saying, like, you got to think about why. To me, that looks great. It's on artificial turf. It's a good contrast. It's a good height of the grass. Like, not all grass would look good. It wouldn't look good in Bermuda grass because Bermuda grass is like salad. If you put a golf club on Bermuda grass, it would just disappear into it.
And you'd have to take a drop. So
yeah, it would be hard. But you got to think about why. Like, for example, how many people here have used the bin system before and you can't find the item in it, and then whatever happens, and then later you go back and you find the item in the same bin, you just didn't, it was just hidden. Worst thing ever. So I'm not gonna do that anymore because it doesn't, it's not worth it. It's not worth, okay, redoing my photos is better than getting questions on my photos. Redoing my inventory system is better than not being able to find the item. So, it's like, I was asking Tech, when is it worth it to redo the whole thing? And he's like, if it doesn't take all day, then why wouldn't you do it? It doesn't take all day. You can switch thousands of items over to a new inventory system. You could take all new photos for all your items in less than a month.
Well, what I'm really working on is taking one bite at a time. Like, I'm going to focus on the photos. I'm going to focus on the photos, and I'm going to get that so that I don't have to edit a single photo.
Yep.
So that's once I get there, then I can say, okay, now I'm going to work on, and while I'm not working on it, it's not my focus, is why am I listing so slow? And I can tell you one of the reasons is because I really would rather let's be honest, sit in front of the television on my iPad and list, then sit in front of my desktop and list.
Mm.
I sit in front of my desktop and list, I'm probably listing at least 3 times faster. So that's like a personal issue, you know, like, let's think about this. And it is not, I am not a person whose mortgage payment depends upon what comes in from eBay, but I'm also a person that what comes in from eBay can make a car payment, and then the leftover money can go someplace more fun. So
I have a question for you, Beth.
sure.
As you get better at listing, right?
Mhm.
Do you still want to list on your iPad?
I'll let you know.
Because the reason why I ask is I no longer want to take pictures on my phone
Okay.
because I love my phone, right? But it's too slow. Like
I
being
think-
able to take, it's just, I can't do it anymore.
I think the answer is this, and this is maybe like a Beth thing, because I'm 61 and I'm retired and I'm an empty nester.
Yeah.
But I had 2 of my 3 adult children home this past weekend. And the last thing I wanted to do at 10 a.m. was to work on listing, because I had something better to do, something that was more important to do. So that told me a whole lot, which is that, and we've talked about this, your listing will fill whatever time you give it. But if you have something else to do, you'll compress it down. So if I sit down in front of my computer and list 5 things in 30 minutes, and then I'm like, kids, the whole day is yours. I'm putting my cell phone down. I'm paying 100% attention to you. Let's go. What are we doing? Well, that's great. You know, and if I don't do it in 30 minutes, it's not going to get done, because I'm not going to put eBay ahead of my kids who are here from out of town for like once in a year. You know, so it's a whole lot of, there's like a whole lot to unpack there, but I'm working on it.
Wouldn't your kids understand though if you said, I would rather struggle on eBay all day than hang out with you?
Oh, they wouldn't come home again. They would be like, Mom.
I know you want to I know you want to hang out, but I have 5 listings and I need to take 16 hours to do it.
They might say, here, tell me what it is. I'll do it in 5 minutes, because they're super fast.
Well, what's more important than struggling on eBay all day? That is the most important thing, apparently, because people do that. Yeah, that's interesting. People don't have things better to do than that.
Right. That's sad, isn't it? I mean,
That's
and
not good. I don't,
things.
let's not do that.
No,
Let's
I have
have
things
something
I'd
better to
rather
do.
do. No, I'd rather sit down and sew and make like a baby blanket for
Or
somebody.
anything.
Yeah, anything.
Anything.
Go to the
Okay.
beach.
But
Yeah.
that's like exercising. It's like, if I know I'm going to sleep better, I'm going to look better, I'm going to feel better, I'll probably eat better, I'll be slimmer, I'll live longer. So that all should be unbelievable motivation to exercise.
No, but here's the thing.
I still don't want.
You have to add that motivation part, right? With being good at it. If you're not good at it, all the motivation in the world will just die. As soon as you start struggling, you'll just give up. If you're really good at it and really motivated, 100% of the time it'll get done. I'm really good at running this call because I've been doing it since 2017, right? And I'm highly motivated to do it. So highly motivated plus really good at it. You have to have both. Otherwise, yeah, go ahead.
That's why it's important to make these little changes, one change at a time in our business, because then we become good at it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm finding external motivation if I stop and think about it. Like I've mentioned this before, I get up and walk every morning because the dog wakes me up and whines at me until I get up. And I don't want to hear her whine. So that's external motivation. But then when I walk, I feel really good about it. And then I can say to everyone I know, oh yes, I walk every morning 2 miles with the dog.
But you're great at walking.
Well, actually, that's a whole nother story. But yes, I can walk quite well.
Well, that's important. If your photo setup is not set up, let's say Laura is messing with her lighting system, right? All the motivation in the world starts to go away as you struggle. You're like, oh, the lighting doesn't look right. There's a shadow over here. Or why does the color look weird? Your motivation's gone.
Well, I will tell you
5
this,
minutes of that.
is that I have, at this juncture in my life, I have addressed the fact that perfection will kill me and it will prevent me from doing anything. So And I know we've seen the listings. It says Tory Burch shoes size 6 and they sell. So my
Yeah.
photos need to be good enough, but they don't have to be perfect. And if I am taking so freaking long to do it, I'm like, enough, just, it's good enough, just post it. And they sell. So good enough is good enough, right? I'm not making a catalog. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's gotta be good, but not perfect.
Yeah. I just want people to think about at the junction of really good at it and really motivated. Then you add a trigger. That's habit formation. That's what all these books are about.
The
But you got-
cha-ching. eBay
yeah.
puts the cha-ching there, Chris, because it knows that it lights up a spot in our brain and we want to keep getting the cha-ching. And I know that is true. Put us
That's
in a
the
PET
reward,
scan when the
yeah.
cha-ching goes off and you will keep selling.
That's the reward system.
Mhm.
But it's better to be rewarded by the work than the cha-ching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because then you please everyone here get to the point where you turn out the cha-ching because it's annoying.
You know, the thing, and I too, every week, right? Some people take their money out every day. I take mine out every week. And how easy is it to see? Well, like I wanted to go up here. Listen, my goal is to be on the $100,000 call. That's a
Yeah.
nice goal, right?
That's a great goal.
I'll let you know. Not there yet.
I'm gonna go hardcore on that, Beth. I'm gonna do 1 month withdrawals. I'm because like right now I'm looking at my Poshmark, it's at 9,100. I've got 3 more days before the end of the month. This will be over 10,000 hopefully, because I got $4,700 worth of stuff on the way to people. But like I'm gonna wait all month for that big 5-figure paycheck, and we'll see what, like, that's motivating to get after it. Actually, I feel a lot better now because it's a lot easier to get more money on Poshmark than it is on Whatnot, and eBay would be even easier than Poshmark if I had it because there's more people. So it's interesting looking at the being able to do fixed marketplace is the biggest hack ever. The fact that we can resell, post something online, customers will find it, is such a hack for life. Otherwise, we have to go find our own customer. That's the worst thing ever. And tell people, believe me, my stuff is so good. That's so hard compared to eBay saying, you buy this from Dana. If it doesn't work out, we'll give you your money back. Your credit card company is like, hey, if it doesn't work out with eBay, we'll also give you your money back. So like, how is that? How do you do that without a huge company behind it? Like on the street, sell something to somebody. There's no guarantee. They have to pay cash. Let's see. Brian says he bought a new phone and stopped doing cha-ching.
Yo, Chris.
Yeah.
Is that from this month?
That's from this month.
9,100 in a month? Month 1?
Month 2. Let's
That's what I'm saying.
go.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Month 2. So this is a current month. So we've got a few days left. But I know it's not gonna, it's been on fire recently, but I feel like I'm gonna have to work my butt off to keep this trending up. But if we look at this year, I did sell 75. So you guys know on January 6th, I listed my first 10 items, and it took me 2 months to sell all the items, right? So I only had $100 in sales the first 2 months, and then I didn't list again until May. But I think this can go up exponentially until December, because I'm going to start listing daily starting this Friday. But I don't know if I can keep my ASP this high. My ASP is, let's see. My ASP is $50 for men, $32 for women, and $12 for kids. So let's just stop. I'll stop selling kids right now because I'm not doing very well with kids. So we'll pass on the kids stuff. But at the flea market, I find primarily men's stuff, and it's been all fire. But that's like, I'm not finding that much stuff, so my store is going to be tiny. but I'm gonna start listing 10 starting on Friday, and it's gonna be awesome. It's so much easier to get money on Poshmark than Whatnot. So much easier. Whatnot is a grind. People are like asking me for a plan to how to make 6 figures on Whatnot. I don't know. I don't know yet. I can tell you exactly how to make 6 figures on eBay or Poshmark because you don't have to have a personality. All you have to do is have the item. People are like, can you give me a marketing plan for eBay? Just buy a good item.
Chris, you are selling, because I was like wondering how you're doing such high numbers, but with such low margins in your store, because you said you like 35 items, but you have multi-quantity listings, correct?
I have multi-quantity listings
Right.
and my margins are so high that I can't like this. Um compared to Whatnot, this is like the most ridiculous profit margins ever. I can't even you guys should try doing auction format only like Isaiah and then switch to fixed price, and it's like printing money because it sucks so bad buying something for 10 and watching it sell for 8. Right? But you don't have to do that on Poshmark or eBay. There's no risk. You can just say no. You just say no, wait for the next customer. You don't have to let it sell for a loss. So it's like right now, all of my individual listings are selling within a month. So I have like 30-day sell through on my individual items. And then replenishables, I'm not going to count towards my 70K goal. But I'm really excited right now because dude, an entire year of selling stuff on auction and switching to fixed price. It's also like, I don't know what to say. Poshmark is a lot easier than Whatnot. That's all I have to say. It's way easier.
You got us all over here like making faces and stuff
Way
because half
easier.
of like I've been on Poshmark for a long time. I don't think I've ever made more than $5,000 in 1 month. Never,
It's
maybe
like
not
so
even 3,000 in
ridiculous.
1 month.
I thought after looking at it, I was like, this is gonna sound wild, but I was like, I should have $3,000 a day on sales on Poshmark. After looking at it, I'm like, this is so much different than Whatnot, where I have to like get people hyped up and like I have to manage their energy and what they eat. And I have to be like, you have to go to sleep. Otherwise, tomorrow you're going to be dead on stream and it doesn't work. You can't have a bad boyfriend because that's going to mess up my stream. You got to like, your whole life has got to be on fire. No deadbeats, no scrubs. Let me look at his dating profile before you go out. We're not like, if you're emotionally messed up, it's going to mess up the stream. You got to be on fire every day. That's so much harder. And they got to have everything all organized. That is like, dude, Poshmark, no one talks to you. You can do it in silence. eBay, you can do it by yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody. Okay, it is really, really, really hard to run a Whatnot business with multiple streamers. It's really hard because you got to keep people happy the whole day. The tip thing is insane because now my streamers make really good money because they keep 100% of their streams or their tips. And I was worried at first because they were like, I was worried at first with the tips because I was like, oh, how am I going to track this? But now we just do daily payout and it's easier. I was a little bit worried because I didn't want to track another thing.
Chris.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't understand this, Chris. Like, this is insanity. Like,
it's
how
gonna
are
be
you
insane,
doing?
dude.
Like you're doing like 10,000. This is 11,000, but you're doing like $11,000 a month on Poshmark, like month 2 as a Poshmark seller.
Yeah.
And like,
it's gonna get even crazier.
We have expert.
I already know it's gonna get crazier because okay, it's like I already have. Okay, everything is cheating. Okay, I have 11 years of source, like, I mean, so many sources of great inventory. I have tons of replenishables. I have a huge audience. There's no like all of the things that people say, oh, it's not fair because he has this. I have all of those.
But Chris, you have what? There's people with like 3,000, 4,000 items on Poshmark and doing less sales than you.
Definitely. They're not getting 20 sales a day.
Yeah. And you have what, like 60?
But it's
if you include quantities, it's like 600, if that.
I probably have let me see.
It's ridiculous.
It'll tell me. I have, let's go share. I have 63 listings, but I have at least 10 of every one of them.
Yeah, so you have like 630.
So I have 600
items.
listings. But yeah, I have 600 listings, but I also have, this is going to sound crazy too. You guys know I was talking about category 1, 2, 3, and 4. 90% of my store is category 1 and 10% is category 2. Like, that's crazy. I don't have any category 3 or 4 items in my store, and I have a liquidation model. So my stuff is designed to sell fast for low margin. I've only been buying for stuff that sells fast. My entire whatnot is based on category 2.
So you think the
Sell fast for
reason
low
why
profit.
people aren't able to pull off similar success to you on, because by the way, you did the same thing on eBay when
You can do the exact same thing as me, as if you want to spend 7 years working on it.
Yeah, you did the same thing on eBay with your experiment. You went from like 0
Yeah,
to
it's
15K.
the same thing. It's actually even better now, because when I did the Reseller Nirvana store, I didn't okay, a couple of things. When I did the Reseller Nirvana store, I took pictures on my phone. That was way slower.
But you're not even listing an amount where like speed is paramount, if that makes sense. It's important, but like it's not like if you were 30 seconds faster, you'd save 5 minutes on your listing goal.
Why did I choose Whatnot over Poshmark when I lost eBay? I was already on Whatnot doing well before I got suspended on eBay. Actually, I texted Jack Weaver in the group, I don't want to do eBay anymore, a month before I got suspended. Because I started Whatnot in March last. I started Whatnot in March last year, right? And around March 21st, I texted Jack, I don't want to do eBay anymore because I have an audience. So I'm just gonna skip eBay. Maybe I'll have a small eBay store, but I don't want to sell on eBay anymore because I have an audience. And then I got suspended like April 23rd, right? And my wife said, time to fire up Poshmark. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. And she's like, you'll kill it. You know all these, you know all the tips, you know all the tricks. And I was like, no, it's okay. I don't want to do it. And then in January, I listed 10 items and they all sold. And then I just didn't do it anymore. But then I was realizing, okay, I don't want more staff. What I do need though is I need a shipper. You know, you guys remember when tech said the first thing you're supposed to do is hire a shipper because you have too many sales? I finally understand that because I'm only listing properly. I've never done that before. Even in the Reseller Nirvana store.
Chris, so are you saying that everyone else isn't, you're not saying this, but like, are you indirectly saying everyone else isn't listing properly and
they're not buying properly, they're not listing properly, they have no audience and they have no sourcing connections? I have everything. It's like it's not fair.
So question for you. Do you think that if tech made a Poshmark store in secret, like, so no audience, just like you, do you think that he would have the same results?
It would be ridiculous.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So like even without the audience, you're able to do
even without, that's only part of it. It's only part of it. I have so many repeat customers already because I ship same day. I don't know what's wrong with Poshmark's tracking algorithm. It says that I have 1 day shipping, but it's way faster than that. Almost all my items ship same day. So it should be same day. But for some reason, like, even though like it'll scan, I wonder if it's business hours, because all my stuff scans at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and then it doesn't count. It doesn't update in the system until the next day, even though it's that day. I don't know what's wrong with the algorithm, but if he were to start a Poshmark, it would be on fire day one. Because of the all the listings would be correct, all the photos would be the same, all the item description would be the same. He ships fast. The bundling tech would destroy it because the having the ability to sell 10 or 12 shirts and ship it for $8.
Mhm.
That's ridiculous. But you can replicate it. It just takes 7 years. It's what David said. You can replicate it. It just takes longer than you think. It's not going to be like this because you didn't do the first 7 years that I did. I think I'm not going to do Mercari, but it would be the same thing. If I started Mercari, it would be on fire. It's like guaranteed $10,000 first month because I already know all the other stuff and all competition is so bad.
Okay.
That,
Like the last one.
Yeah.
But there's so many people.
Yeah.
Who are like, dude, when you started Poshmark, tons of people were like telling you what to do, right? You're asking for a bunch of advice.
I got all the advice.
Like there's a bunch of people out there who know more about Poshmark than you did when you started, right? And then like now you're able to like, what, I don't know, Chris. This is insanity. $9,100.
I hear you, Isaiah, because it's mind blowing that he can go on somewhere. It's like a Midas touch for real, but he is set up. That's the thing. He's got all the best stuff. It's not the platform. It's what he mentioned, all those things, the sourcing, the setup.
I have to go. Thank you everybody on YouTube.